Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our advanced training with me. My name is Petra. If you don't know me yet, if you're new here, welcome. I always welcome new members and new frequency lovers. I've been doing this for over 2 years now, and today we have an amazing session to look at. I'm just freaking excited about this today. Hi, beautiful. Okay, good. So you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. The Wordly is active, so I'm just going to start sharing so we can let others know if they want to log in. I think this is the right one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, today we have the power of amplification, the beautiful new Healy HighWave product. This is the HighWave. Yeah, it's literally like a wristband, really simple with the Healy attached to it. And we're going to look at it today in detail. So you will be having all the information that you need for using it, and of course we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So for those of you that you don't speak English, make sure you scan the QR code of the Wordly app on your phone. You choose the language that you would like this session to be translated into, and then you listen to it. It's going to come up on the app as the translation, and you will be able to see me on your monitor on the Zoom. So you have both. Hola from Spain. Hola. You have summer there now. I've seen beautiful photos. My mum is updating me all the time. We are preparing to go back to Europe this year. We don't know yet when, but my mum is so excited that she's already planning everything. So, you can't stop a mother, I guess. Okay, so today we have really long, a big session. We have a lot of things to carry and go through. So as always, before we jump in, as we know it, the disclaimer, the existence of the information field has not been acknowledged by the Western world of medicine, and so has not been acknowledged the analysis and the harmonization of it. So make sure that everything we talk about here, everything you are asking, every answer that you are getting, you are taking it with a grain of salt and only as an educational purpose. So this makes sure that this is just information, might not be 100% information. Make sure that you are doing your due diligence to do your own research, and especially on your own body. Yeah, you need to tune into your body, you need to connect to your body so you be the judge of what's right for you. Because I know my body, I know what's right for me, but I can't tell you what's right for you. As well as our Healy and Mag Healy devices, including Coil and now HighWave, they are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, prevent any disease or medical condition. So please, at the end of the session, when we are having a Q&A session, please keep to the topic, because otherwise we can go in a million directions. And please, I'm not a doctor. I can't provide medical information for you. You have your doctors for that. I can only provide you my knowledge, my experience, and my view. But as again, that is only intended for educational purposes. Okay, I like this session today. I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this product for like ages. I couldn't talk about it, and I'm so happy. And then my product was actually delayed. I didn't get it in time as I wanted it, so I was really disappointed with that. But then when it actually arrived, I am mind blown. Honestly, I am freaking mind blown of what Healy came up with, and how this is affecting my body. Like, I will tell you all my experience. I get goosebumps. I will tell you all my experiences. We will go through what Healy HighWave is, how it works. We will look at the differences between the electrodes, be it your cables, your sticky pads, your ear clips, coil, and now the Healy HighWave, so you understand the differences and what to use it with and how to use it. And we're going to look at all the programs, I promise, as I always promise. We will look at both program groups, the cell wave and the mind wave groups of programs, so you will understand what they're all about. I will also give you an extended version of what they are about because, of course, as always, Healy needs to be compliant. And I will tell you also my own personal experience on that. And then also at the end, we're going to look at, I wanted to share my screen on my phone, but my app for sharing just literally died. I can't connect it with my computer, so I need to fix that. So I just made quickly screenshots of the scans that I've done in the last week of all Healy programs and how Mindwave cell programs came up. And when I started using the Healy HighWave, how the percentages started dropping really fast. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you and tell you what my experience was as well. So, but before we move into this, I would love to know your view and your opinion on what are you excited most about when you hear about it, or if you actually tried Healy HighWave, if you've been on the conference, either in Korea or in Austria, I think it was in Vienna, and in Mexico. So if you have your Healy HighWave, what are you the most excited about? And if you don't have it, when you read about it and heard about it, what are you the most excited about? So pop that into the chat. I really want to know. Programs, yes, they are really amazing. They're really amazing. I really love the cell wave programs for my body. It's just a completely different level, and I will share that with you. I wait for mine to arrive. Yes, I know. It's been, for those of you who have been waiting for the stock, it's selling like hotcakes. I'm not kidding. Like, this is insane. Like, Healy is running out of the stock, so we're waiting for new stocks to arrive. So if you're still waiting for yours, I'm sorry, it will arrive soon. Better efficiency with Healy HighWave, yes, definitely. Effectivity increases, correct. And not only effectivity, we will look at what actually does change with Healy HighWave, and this is a game changer. I really need to tell you, this is a game changer. And my experience is just mind-blowing. Okay, perfect. So let's drop into everything. So what is Healy HighWave? Yeah, Healy HighWave is an accessory. Yeah, so it's not a device physically, you don't have to charge it. Yeah, it is an accessory for the Healy device, and it is intended, or it's intended to use the intended use of this accessory is actually to enable the frequencies of the Healy wellness applications to get evenly distributed in the body. Yes, evenly throughout the body, not just locally, not just some part of it, not 70%, not 50%, evenly and equally around the body. And not only that, it goes deeper. So what are the benefits of Healy HighWave? First of all, this is a groundbreaking wearable. Nothing like it on the market. Yeah, this is actually patented by Healy World. It's one of a kind currently on the market. Nobody else does this. So this is completely new, well, new to us to use, but it has been, a technology that has been in the making. The theories and everything have been in research, but nothing like this has been created before. That's why Healy World owns the patent for this. What it does, it actually enhances how Healy delivers your IMF, your individual microcurrent frequencies, to the body. So IMF is microcurrent, but this is a completely different delivery. And Coil delivers your IMF frequencies, so microcurrent frequencies, without the current, but HighWave takes it to a completely new level. So it makes your frequency technology, so your Healy, even more powerful, intense, but powerful, and also efficient. So how your body is utilizing the frequency that you're sending them to, that you're sending the body. Yeah, It also sends signals deeper into the body using a high frequency carrier wave. We're going to look at what that high frequency carrier wave is and why this is such a huge game changer. It also reaches inside every single cell of your body. Just the left arm and half of the right. No, every cell of the body, evenly distributed. And we have proof of that. This is not just hearsay, this is not just theory, this is proven. Yeah? Okay. So how does Healy HighWave work? So we're gonna go into a bit of nitty-gritty. So I know this is science behind it. There's a lot of really big words. So we'll try to really explain this in the most simple and possible way as I can, so you can understand it. So Healy HighWave is a combination of a coil and your electrodes, not really, but let's simplify it, with an addition of a carrier wave. So I was trying to think of an analogy of how to actually present this to you so you understand what it really happens in the body. So the only way that I can really explain this in a simplified way is for those of you who are using essential oils, for example. We had an essential oil module way back, and essential oils are ethers. So they are literally high evaporating substances, like literally alcohols. Yeah. So if you leave them outside, they will evaporate really fast. And if you pop them on your skin, they will absorb into the body really fast, but majority, half of it, or 30% of it will evaporate directly on the skin. So essential oils are used with normally for the topical application mixed with carrier oils. Yeah, sounds similar? Carrier wave and carrier oils. So why we call them carrier oils, be it almond oil or fractional coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you're using, they're fats. So fat actually keeps the alcohol in, so it traps it. Yeah, and when you apply it on the skin, it actually, the fat traps the alcohols and the essential oils underneath the fat, so the body can absorb it evenly. Yeah, and absorb it 100%. And also the fat has the component of carrying this essential oil to the cell, because cell membranes are fat-based membranes. And when we have a carrier oil, the cell and the carrier oil meet, and because of the fat content, the carrier oil then carries the essential oil across the membrane to the cell, meaning it allows the essential oil to go and penetrate directly into the cell with the help of the carrier oil. Similarly, this happens with a carrier wave in frequency. So, for example, Healy in itself, it actually works by sending frequency information to your bioenergetic field using either microcurrent, which are your electrodes, and magnetic fields like your coil, or Healy itself actually emits a weak electromagnetic field. What's the problem? The problem actually here becomes that low frequency signals, which are microcurrent frequencies, are low frequency signals, can lose the strength or coherence as they travel through the body, especially in energetically blocked or depleted areas. So for example, if you have a scar tissue, there's a blockage, so the frequency can't come through. So that's something that I've been talking about, for example, with people that we use the local frequencies when we do the sticky pads. And I had, as I said before, I had a client that had a knee injury, and her knee was hurting. So we put the sticky pads on her on each side, and the current was not flowing. And all of a sudden, after 10 minutes, the current passed through that tissue inflammation, and all of a sudden she felt the energy, the frequency move through her body. So we needed to lower the intensity. So this is what happens when we have blockages in the body, meaning scar tissue. It could be toxins, it could be, depleted cells, like, oxidative stress on the cells. It could be emotions, yeah, either in a bioenergetic field or in the body. It could be fascia tissue completely dehydrated, and there's no movement and water in there because there's no structured water and the frequency can't move through it. So there's so many different ways that the body can be blocked, and the microcurrent or magnetic fields cannot penetrate the cells, and they can't get deep enough because they get stopped. So they can't get distributed evenly throughout the body. They can only move through the pathways of the body that are not blocked, and slowly pushing through the blockages in order to move that energy through the scar tissue, for example. So this is where Healy HighWave comes in. Healy HighWave builds on this, so the microcurrent and magnetic fields, yeah, by modulating those signals. So the frequencies that are coming, it's modulating them. What does that mean? It actually means that it enhances the clarity and the power, not intensity, clarity and power of the frequency sent to the body as it moves through your body evenly. So meaning that we have now a carrier wave that actually moves through those tissues. So for example, if you have a scar tissue or if you have a blockage, we have a specific carrier wave that actually moves through the tissues. And we're going to look at that. It actually uses something similar to a PEMF, which is a pulse electromagnetic fields technology. So pulsating, it's like drop in the water and you have this ripple effects, yeah? Which means it sends pulses of magnetic energy that interact with your cells, helping them tune in, meaning tune as a tuning fork, more effectively to the frequency being delivered, meaning that they become more compatible. It also uses a process, what we call a wave coupling, which is when the two energy interact, yeah, for example, one frequency and the other frequency, they interact, align, and reinforce each other. So they help each other actually make something better. And we're going to look at how that works. So in this case, the HighWave device actually acts as an antenna, literally amplifying and broadcasting the frequencies in a way that your cells are more likely to actually receive and respond to them. So they're more receptive, they're more bioavailable to the body. So, for example, instead of frequency being sent to the body and maybe delivered or received by the body, HighWave ensures they're delivered more clearly, deeply, and precisely. So this is a huge difference. So why does this matter? It matters for the efficiency and depth. How deeply do we reach the body? So for example, we know frequencies are like messengers, right? Either through the bioenergetic field, we send a message, yeah? Or either we send a message through a microcurrent, yeah? In this case, we're sending a message through the carrier wave, but they're messages. So we're sending a message to the body. But what HighWave does, it actually increases the strength and the clarity of those messages. So what does that mean for the body practically? It actually means faster response time from the body, and I can contest to that, deeper resonance in the tissue and cells, more coherent frequency flow, especially in areas of resistance, better support for recovery, regeneration, and mental clarity. And I can literally, in a bit more, well, in a week, my body has completely shifted. Like I can feel the difference in the body. And I'm going to show you that at the end. Okay, so this is our little accessory. Yeah, this little accessory has a wrist strap, yeah, like a wristband, like your watch. that connects to Healy. So there's like a platform here, yeah, and there's connectors like Coil. These connectors are a bit wider, so they feel like a bit harder to click, but they click beautifully. But they need to be harder in order for you to wear it on your wrist. You have two integrated pads underneath. As you see, they're curved. They're curved in order to sit on your wrist properly, touching the skin. So they act as a signal transmitters, so sending frequency, not just connectors. So they're not just connectors to your skin, so like, electrodes, but they actually transmit the frequency and the carrier wave. And I'm going to tell you how they do that. The frequencies then reach, so because they go directly into the tissue, into the cell, they're focused frequencies moving into the body to the cellular level. They reach deeply through the tissue and directly into the cells. Yeah, because cells then absorb them. They're beautiful. Okay, so what about this carrier wave that we're talking about? What is this? So why is this so important? And why do we want to know about this? And why is this such a big deal? Well, it is a huge big deal. Because 5 hertz or 5 megahertz, sorry, Healy's direct carrier wave, it's actually 4.97 megahertz. Some people will say, oh, why did Healy complicate things? No, it didn't. It actually made it specifically and intentionally 4.97 megahertz with a reason. Yeah, because this is a resonant heart of high wave. Yes, it truly is a resonant heart because it's a game changer. 4.97 megahertz, it's a game changer in your frequency application. So let's look at it. It has 3 different benefits to the body. So first of all, it's mathematically harmonious frequency. So Healy actually chose the 5 megahertz range for the high frequency carrier wave intentionally because there's been research done and we're going to look at that. But it also, 4.97 was not chosen randomly just because of the numbers. Here they are, we flip it up. No, it's based on the mathematical harmonics aligned with the Pythagorean tuning system. So what is that? It's actually where sound and frequency follow a sacred geometry of harmony and balance. So for example, solfeggio frequencies are also one of the harmonics. Pythagorean tuning system is one of the mathematics. So Pythagoreans, which is a group of people that believe in this system, actually, well, even Pythagoras itself, when it created a system, thought that numbers and harmony actually govern all life. We have sacred geometry everywhere, and numbers are part of everything, including our body, our breath, everything. And this frequency, 4.97 megahertz, actually mirrors the universal order. And we are aligned with that frequency of the universe through this. And it is a harmonic, meaning that it's harmonic and harmonious to our body and our tissue. So frequencies actually chosen from these systems are believed to resonate with the natural order of life, supporting coherence in the field. So they are bringing just the wave itself without any added frequencies. It's harmonious for your body and tissue on a cellular level. The second part why this carrier wave is so important is that it's linked to biological resonance. So modern research as and Major have studied literally coherent and decoherent frequencies extensively in the past, and Healy has built on these studies and these researches. And the research actually shows that 4.97 megahertz, which is the 5 megahertz range, which is 5 megahertz just means 5 million hertz. Yeah, it's a high frequency range. And it appears in a list of what we call life supporting frequencies. So frequencies that actually support life and give life. And these frequencies actually foster biological harmony, biological meaning the physical body, yeah, not stress. So they've shown that this range of frequency, although they have devices, medical devices, that, for example, you might know, there are devices that actually scan the body and you can see images in 3D. So these devices actually use the 5 hertz range of frequencies in order to create a 3D object within the body. So all the tissues and everything in 3D. And what they found is that this frequency actually are supporting the body, not stressing the body. They're not heating up the tissue like microwave frequencies, or agitating 5G frequencies, which are actually heating up the body. And what does that mean? It means that cells and tissues resonate really well with 4.97 megahertz, even without additional frequencies layered on top. Why? Because when we look at the tissues in the body and the cells themselves, they all range in the 5 to 10 megahertz range. So meaning, if they already vibrate on that frequency, if we are coupling the wave of 5 hertz carrier wave, they literally exist on the same frequency. So there is no resistance when we are applying this. We don't heat up things, because when there's resistance, we're applying too much energy. Again, we come to resistance, the body heats up, yeah? But the cells themselves, they resonate in that range, meaning that when we're applying the 5 megahertz carrier wave, we are literally moving through things really smoothly, and it's harmonious for the cell. They don't feel stress. And the third thing that's really important is that the carrier wave itself, it supports harmony on its own. So we know that 4.97, which is the 5, you will hear majority of Healy go 5 megahertz range, yeah? But the idea, literally the direct carrier wave is 4.97. So the wave itself, the carrier wave itself, even without IMF simulation or modulation or adding on the IMF frequencies, is believed to stabilize and balance the bioenergetic field. So why do we want to do that? So the more stable the bioenergetic field of the cell is, the healthier the cell is, the better the voltage is within the cell. And if we can reach inside of the cell and structure and strengthen that field from within, the better option of you and your body healing and regenerating is. So when Healy HighWave actually uses this carrier wave, it's doing two things at once. So one thing is amplifying Healy's frequency programs, like one program, and it's amplifying that frequency, and sending a resonant wave, like harmonic wave, through your body, through every cell of your body, that supports cellular balance on its own. Even if you don't add any other frequencies, it supports the cellular balance on its own. So you are getting the benefit of the high frequency wave plus the direct focused frequency from the programs that you're applying. So how does that look like? For example, we have a Healy that sends 100 hertz out from a program, yes? And you use your Healy with an app, yeah? And you apply the app and you choose a program. Then when you choose a program, you hook it onto the HighWave, and the HighWave, you see that has like little light here, like this little moon, and there's a light in here. And what it does is you need to amplify the intensity. So the percentage that you're using in the app, you need to intensify the percentage to the point where the light here for the program, as well as the light here on the HighWave, is on. So this will be a white light, and this is going to be like a yellow-green light, yeah? So when both are on, that means that if this one's on a HighWave, that means that the HighWave accessory is actually creating a high-frequency carrier wave, which is 5 megahertz carrier wave, and it's using your Healy battery. So that's really important. So it's using the Healy battery in order to create this 5 megahertz wave. And then when it creates it, it couples the 100 hertz from the program with this carrier wave. So it couples it like a sandwich, and it applies it to your body. It goes into the cells, through the tissues, and through your entire body. And this is how it's delivered. It's really simple in terms, but really complex when we look at the technicalities at the back. So I want to show you a video of Marcus actually. Let me just stop so I can share with sound, so you can actually share sound on my video sharing. This one. I think this should work. Yeah. So I'm going to share a 3-minute video of Marcus actually testing how HighWave actually works on the body and how its amplification reaches every single part of the body. So I'm just going to press play, and please let me know in a chat if you can actually hear it.
The Healy HighWave transmits frequencies over the entire body. This has previously just been a theory, but now it can be demonstrated. This device, the wave transmission detector, is developed precisely for this purpose. It is unique and is developed to prove the presence of frequencies all over the body. What before has just been believed can now be clearly demonstrated. The Healy HighWave transmits individualized microcurrent frequencies through the entire body. These frequencies are modulated on a carrier signal which transports the effective frequency to the place where it should affect. In this way, the signal goes deeper. It penetrates the skin, through the tissues, through the entire body, down to the individual cells.
But does the signal really reach every part of the body? The field transmission detector can quite easily verify this. For instance, a 1000 Hz signal is fed into the Healy HighWave on the left side. The FTD1 checks whether this signal can be measured on the right side of the body or at any other point.
In this measurement, we are feeding the frequency signals through the HighWave to the left wrist, and now with the wave transmission detector, we can show that it is there present here on the right wrist. We see the 5 megahertz signal very clearly present, but we can also detect it at the forehead, and again we see a very strong 5 megahertz signal on the screen. Very important, we can also show that the signal is present at the body, and again we see the 5 megahertz signal very clearly detected. There is a fourth place which is most far away from the arm, which is the right angle, and we can again detect the same 5 megahertz signal very clearly on the measurement device.
What sounds so simple is actually extremely complex. The FTD1 was developed over many years by the same experts who created the Healy technology. It's a unique one-off device that could only be developed thanks to the new and patented HighWave technology. It is intended for laboratory measurements only and is not available for purchase, but its value in providing clear evidence is priceless.
Frequency applied, frequency measured at another location. The carrier signal transmits the active signal through the whole body. The Healy HighWave works, and the FTD1 makes it measurable.
We at Healy believe in technology that works, and we are also proving it objectively.
Okay, so hope that was clear enough to hear. So this is the first time that actually Healy, because Healy is investing a lot into proving how the frequency that we are using and how the frequency that Healy World is actually creating, how they're influencing our body. And they've done a lot of studies and they've actually done a double placebo study with the high wave as well. So I'm not going to present the studies today, but if you're interested, I will post them into my Facebook group. If you wish to look at that, you can. They're always going to be, all the additional stuff will be on the post next to the recording. If you are not in the Facebook group yet, I can post the link into the chat if you wish to join the group for recordings or any questions. So I've done that now, so don't forget. And let's look at it. Okay, so why does amplification actually matters? So why do we need now? We have the cables, we have the coil. Why do we need the high wave? And why do we want to amplify the frequencies that we are using? So let's look at this one first. So standard IMF frequencies, which are microcurrent frequencies, used without amplification, used without the high frequency carrier wave that comes with Healy HighWave, mostly actually travel around the cell, interacting with the bioenergetic field of the cell and the soft tissue around it. The microcurrent itself does not penetrate the cell. It actually influences the bioenergetic field of the cell, influencing and kind of nagging the cell to activate the ATP, which is the energy production of the cell. That's because the cell, not because the microcurrent doesn't work. No, it works. There's been studies done on it. It's not because of that. It's because the cell membranes act like capacitors. Yeah, they block low frequency signals from entering the cell. They're like little magnets with the magnetic field around them, and they only will allow a certain frequency to pass through that field, because if you're on the same frequency, you can match. But if it's too low, it's not going to penetrate the cell. It's just going to influence it. So the 4.97 megahertz carrier wave used by the Healy HighWave accessory, it actually overcomes this resistance. So it allows the frequencies to enter the cell membrane, and this enables the signals to actually reach your mitochondria, which are your cell energy centers, to create new energy in the cell and make your cell younger, as well as your DNA, which is your cell informational blueprint. So this is your entire blueprint of the body. So HighWave, in this case, actually reaches your DNA, which is amazing, because if you look at what you can do with this, and we're going to look at the end how you can use it with other programs, not just the HighWave cell and mind programs, but think of applying digital nutrition or bioenergetic vitalization with this. Yeah, this is mind-blowing. So this has enormous applications of the body that you can't even imagine. So what are the key benefits of amplification with HighWave? So first of all, it's deep cellular resonance. So frequency signals are actually no longer bouncing off, being pushed away because of the magnetic field and the resistance. They are actually being absorbed by the cell. The cell loves it, it wants it, your body wants it more, and it creates a coherent communication. Yeah, a beautiful communication across the cells and the network, and across your entire bioenergetic and biological systems. Why? Because as soon as we influence the cell, it's a ripple effect of the body. So the second thing is faster regeneration and recovery. This I can contest to 100%, because I saw myself, my body completely transform in a day. And I will show you the details and the numbers. Yeah. So amplified signals stimulate mitochondrial energy production, meaning better energy, better health of the cell. And it can also help the body repair faster, especially after stress, illness, or exertion. And I can tell you that because I had a lot of stress in the last week. And every single time I've applied cell wave programs, I felt instant shift in my body. And the numbers will show you. It also offers greater mental clarity. We have cell wave and mind wave programs specifically made for Healy HighWave application. Yes. And mind wave as well as cell wave programs actually target, so mind wave target is neural coherence and focus, and the cell wave programs target cell integrity and regeneration. And with high wave enhancing the frequency imprint and how it influences the cell through this program, it allows for sharper thought with mind wave programs, reduced brain fog as well, and it also helps with emotional and physical reset. So the better and the healthier cells are, the better your emotions, the better your moods, the better your thinking, the better the connectivity through the brain. And we're going to look at why these mind wave programs, especially for the brain, are so important and so different. It also gives you an increased energetic alignment. So when the frequency reaches the core of the cell, where your energy is actually produced and where your DNA blueprint is, the biofield becomes more stable. So when we have a more stable bioenergetic field of the cell, it will communicate with other cells how to become more stable. So your body becomes more stable, you become more stable, and your life becomes more stable, because we are all mirrors, right? We're working with quantum field here. And this alignment actually enhances your natural rhythm. You become more yourself, you become more energized, you become more happy, you regenerate faster, you have more clarity of purpose, and you have more inner balance. And I can tell you the way these programs work, it's a different application than cables and coil. And it gives you this spaciousness, but really calmness in the body. Like beautiful calm. There's no agitation of the nervous system, which for me is huge. Okay, so let's look at HighWave versus Healy electrodes and coils, so we know what they are. All of them have a specific intention and the way they work on the body. I got a lot of messages lately. So if I have a HighWave, I don't need the cables or coil then. I was like, no, that's not how it works. So every single application has a specific way of applying frequency, and they have a specific usage. So when we're looking at how different things work with how different elements like coil, electrodes, and HighWave accessories, how they work with the application of frequency in the body, this is a simplified version that I could give you. So electrodes, think of it as working around the cell, influencing it. Yeah, it's like, nudging the cell to actually create energy. The coil works on top of the bioenergetic field of the cell. Yeah, so we have the torus field, the bioenergetic field, we have the vessel, so your electrodes move the microcurrent through the vessels, the meridians, the energetic pathways, right? Influencing the cell, around the cell, and nudging it to move and shift and create more energy, yeah? Where the coil literally works on top of the bioenergetic field in a gentler way, meaning it's like having a conversation with your bioenergetic field of the cell and saying, you're not vibrating, you're not singing the right song, you're kind of out of tune. This is what you should be doing, maybe try this. So it's kind of a nudge, a gentle nudge to move, yeah? But with the HighWave, what it does, it actually works inside of the cell. It's literally going into the cell, talking to the cell and to the mitochondria DNA directly, meaning it's like saying, this needs to change, this needs to change, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. It's a direct communication. So think of it in a sort of way, technology-wise, when we're looking at it. Think of it as electrodes, be it your wristbands, your ear clips, your sticky pads. They're like plugging into an outlet to recharge your phone battery from the outside. Yeah. So when you're looking at the coil, it's like broadcasting a signal like Wi-Fi through the air. Yeah, like Wi-Fi, but in a harmonious way. So Wi-Fi is not harmonious. Yeah. So like Wi-Fi in a harmonious way, or for example, sound bath. So if you go into a sound bath, you're influenced through the field, right, with frequency. And highway, the easiest way to explain is if you have like a, I don't know, here in Australia we call it NBA. It's like fiber optic, like really high, fast, high frequency, fast, high fiber optic cable that directly plugs into a computer, and it delivers a high speed message straight, like you have a really fast connection, and it's straight into the core of the cell. So there's no disturbances in between. There's nothing else in between. It's, A to B, direct connection. So why do we want to use all three? Because with highway, we don't have electricity. Electrodes bring us microcurrent, and microcurrent is important because it carries microcurrent is a low frequency electricity. So it's low current electricity, and we need electricity, especially if you want to regenerate your tissue. Coil is for people that can't tolerate, I don't know, 2 programs a day with electrodes because it's agitated too much to the nervous system, or it's too much electricity at once for the cells. And the highway is a beautiful combination, is to regenerate the cell from the inside, pairing it with coil to influence the information field. So we are looking at applying different frequency from different perspectives in order to have a whole. So everything is a piece of a puzzle. So it's not like I'm just using highway and then everything's fine. No, I still use cables, and I still use coil, and I still use my mag, but I use probably this week I've been using a bit more than 2 programs, but probably about 2 to 3 programs with HighWave, and then I do coil. Yesterday I've done 5. Don't be me, yeah? But I've done 5 HighWave programs because I wanted to test it on myself to actually see what happens. And I also wanted to test how long the battery of the Healy will hold, still performing to create a 5 megahertz carrier wave. So I found 5 programs is max that you can do on highway because it uses the Healy battery. Yeah. And I found that at the beginning, when I started, I only needed like 40% intensity for the program. And the 3rd day, I was up to 100 for me. Yeah. I'm not saying it needs to be for you. So the only thing that you need to be aware of when you are using the HighWave is when you're going to do different programs are going to be different percentages. It's the same with coil, it's the same with cables. Why? Because your body has different needs, and it has different ways of moving the energy through the body. And as long as the light on your HighWave is actually stable light, yeah, this is where you stop the frequency, the intensity percentage. So for example, if you come to 40% and the light is stable for that program, leave it at 40. And if the light is turned off, amp it up until the light is stable. So, and you will understand that every program will be different. Yeah. The higher the intensity, the percentage of the program is, the more battery the Healy HighWave will use. But I had mine yesterday, 5 programs on 100%, and I still had about 20% of battery at the end of the day. So you need to be aware, depending on what kind of battery you have in your Healy, be mindful. If you don't have enough battery, it's not going to create a high frequency 5 megahertz wave. So if it's not creating, if there's no light, you're not applying it through highway. Yeah. So you're better off applying a coil or using it with cables, just so you know. Hope this clarifies things. Okay. Yay. Let's do the programs. So you're going to get all of these. I'm going to post it into the group. And we're going to look at that as well. Okay. So we have 2 groups of programs, cell wave and the mind wave. So let's look at the cell wave. So the cell wave programs are intended to regenerate the cells and take care of the cells, take care of the bioenergetic field of the cell, to actually connect it back to Earth and all of that. So we have 6 programs in here. From what I know, this is not 100%, information from Healy. Is that I think that what they were saying is that they might be bringing new programs, adding them onto this in the future. But currently we have 6. So the first one is Purify. So the general description of this program, which is compliant, is saying that it helps to promote a sense of renewal and clarity for a refreshed feeling from within. I know, it tells you a lot. So what this program actually gives you is literally supports a gentle cellular detox, and it helps to eliminate toxins or chemicals from the cells and the body. It's not like a full-on detox, but it's a beautiful, gentle detox, and it helps to balance the body. And it's great for if you're traveling, for example, when you are surrounded with a lot of different chemicals around you, airports and different countries. And if you, for example, if you are indulging too much in food, or if you're traveling and eating foods that you're not used to, or foods that are not completely organic that you're used to, or your body's not used to them, or foreign foods that you never tried before, so they have different bacteria, toxins, and elements in there, or when the body feels imbalanced. So this program is beautiful, and it goes directly into the cell. So all of the cell wave programs are directly intended for the cell. Just have in mind that these programs are different. Can you apply them without the HighWave? Yes, you can, but they're not intended, and you're not going to have as high efficiency applying them with coil or cables. The highest efficiency you're going to get with these programs is with the HighWave. And these programs are intended to actually have one frequency sent through the carrier wave. I don't know what exactly the frequencies are. I've been trying to get them, but I haven't got that information yet. So then the next one is cell vitalization, which is nourishing your daily rhythm to cultivate a sense of vitality and resilient well-being. So cell vitalization program is intended to promote healthy circulation of the cellular level. So it's actually ideal for still activities like reading, working, or meditating. So if you have a lot of sedentary lifestyle, you're working on a computer a lot, you're sitting a lot, your toxins and lymph are not moving, and your cells are not detoxing properly. So you want to revitalize your cells with new oxygen, new blood. So this program is for that, yeah, to actually help support your cells. Cell care, my favorite program of all. This is my best program, best experience ever, like honestly. This program also aims to promote a sense of renewal and balance. This program gives you more than that, just giving you that. It actually encourages cellular regeneration and repair, literally, of the cell, which is amazing. And this is the research-backed program actually shown to support measurable improvements in studies. So when they did the double placebo study, they've done this program and they had amazing results. So this is my top favorite program ever. And I like to pair it with Earth Connection. My third favorite program is Cell Integrity. So those are my three favorites in the cell wave. So the next one is general circulation, which literally supports your body's natural balance and vitality by encouraging healthy circulation and energy flow, which just means that it boosts overall blood flow and oxygenation through the body and cells. It's helpful for fatigue, long flights, for example, when you're traveling a lot and your rhythm's out, or when you feel heavy and sluggish. So that's actually good to boost your circulation and bring more oxygen into your cell. Cell integrity supports the overall harmony of the cells, helping them maintain balance and adapt to external influences, which just means that it strengthens the energetic boundary of the cell, meaning bioenergetic field, and the integrity of that field. And it's perfect for environments with a lot of electrosmog. When you're traveling in the cities, if you're spending extended time in cars and trains and planes, when you are influenced by other people and by environments where all of these frequencies and inputs from the environment are literally compromising the integrity of your cells and the health of those. And this program is really good to regenerate that. And Earth Connection is reconnect with the natural frequencies of Mother Earth to restore inner harmony and strength, which literally just means it's frequencies of grounding and stabilizing. It connects your cells and body and electromagnetic field of your body to the grounding frequencies of Earth. And it's all about stabilizing your bioenergetic field of the cell, yeah, and then of course your body. You can use it alone on itself, or you can combine it with other programs to actually amplify their effectiveness and integration. So for example, I found really good results doing cell care in the morning, and after that I would do a different program like digital nutrition or deep cycle or bioenergetic vitalization, and then I would pair it with Earth Connection, and I had really beautiful results. That's just my personal experience, but I would encourage you to explore and try that on yourself to actually see how that works on your body. Okay, MindWave. So MindWave programs, so all of these programs, so MindWave programs are actually specific programs that work in the EEG brainwave range, meaning beta, alpha, theta, delta waves. So all about the brainwave connectivity, and they're really powerful programs. So these programs are intended to be used at certain times of the day and avoided at certain times of the day because they work with the brainwave ranges, yeah, because those are really powerful frequencies. So the first one is, again, we have 6 programs, and the first one is active attention, which literally is supporting to stay sharp and fully engaged in the moment. This program energizes the mind using frequencies in the beta wave range for performance and problem solving. So what it does, it actually supports your focus, your mental sharpness, and cognitive performance using all the frequencies, so the beta wave frequencies from the EEG brainwave range. And it's ideal for working, studying, or any meetings or high intense meetings when you need high concentration. Yeah, that's really important to understand. And because of that, and because of the frequencies that are in here, you need to avoid using this program near bedtime, during wind down time. So when you're starting to relax, yeah, and kind of wind down the body, or when aiming to relax at all. So because this will completely, like, you're going to be an energized bunny, yeah, if you do that before bed. The second one is creativity, which is spark innovation and intuitive thinking using frequencies in the theta wave range, activating your brain's natural source of creative energy. So this program literally enhances creative thinking, brainstorming, flow states, artistic expression. Some people like to say, but I'm not creative, I'm not artist. I'm a go-getter and do, and I want to be focused, and I need to do the work. Yes, if you have meetings like you have in your business, for example, you need new ideas of how to approach things differently, or finding creative ways of how to train your people or how to connect with customers. That program is also important for you to actually be aware of things. But please avoid using this program when deep logic or analytical focus is required. So for example, don't use this program if you need to do the budget, yeah, of the business, or if you need to learn really something and you need a lot of focus and a lot of analytical thinking of how to put things together, because this will open up your mind and you're just going to have too many ideas. So it's not narrow, yeah. So then the next one is cognitive ability, which is elevate your mental acuity with the program stimulating the beta and gamma wave range, designed to enhance learning, memory, and problem-solving abilities. So this program boosts memory, mental clarity, and fast thinking for high-performance tasks, and also problem-solving. So it's great for focused work and mental sharpness. Yeah. So if you're doing budget, this is a good one. Avoid when late evening or near bedtime to prevent overstimulation. And then presence, this is my favorite program in the MindWave range. Presence it's literally immerse yourself in the present moment with a unique blend of frequencies, stimulating the alpha and gamma wave range, creating a sense of mindfulness and heightened awareness. So this program supports calm clarity. This works really strangely, but it works mind-blowing beautiful. So it's calm, but you have clarity, yeah? And it's calm clarity in high awareness moments. So we need to be really high aware. Like, for example, if you're doing public speaking or presentations at work, or you're doing spiritual reflection. So this is great for personal growth if you're doing meditations and reflecting on things, because it actually, the way I experience this program, is I have energetic downloads all the time. I sense energy, see energies all the time. So for me, I already have overload of stimulation. But what this did for me is, and normally that overload of stimulation actually agitates my nervous system. But what this program did for me was literally my body became calm and not saturated. It was like a open pathway, a channel, and my awareness became even widened. I know some people would say, but then you have more coming in. Yeah, but the way it expands you, you have more capacity to deal with what's coming through. That's how my experience of this program is. And my body was so calm that I was aware of everything that was coming through, everything that was around me, and in a calm way, not in a way of, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm aware of it, but I'm not attaching to it. So this is a game changer for me in the way I live my life. But of course, you need to try it for yourself and see how it works on you. So the least but not last is recreation, which is promote a sense of calm and relaxation through frequencies associated with the alpha and delta wave range, which just means that it helps helps transition from activity to rest. And it's ideal for long days. For example, if you're working long days, and then if you have naps or sleep prep, that's really good. It also soothes the nervous system and promotes relaxation. So this one, if you don't do it between, like during lunchtime, if you're not doing naps, because it drops you to rest, and if you have high performance tasks later, don't unless you need to really calm down. But I would use presence before I would use recreation during the day at work. But at the end of the day, this is beautiful because it helps you calm down the mind. It helps you let go of things and bring the nervous system to rest. And then the last one, relaxed awareness. So relaxed awareness is achieve a calm, centered state with a program designed to stimulate the alpha wave range, helping you unwind while staying mentally present. This program, you need to really have a huge note to it. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. So this program is perfect for meditation, yoga, gentle movement, spiritual listening, or mindful tasks like cooking or just coloring in. Yeah. Encourages also calm openness, and this is really emphasis on openness. Yeah, it's calm openness and internal awareness. It also helps us to absorb information from the outside environment really fast. So make sure that you avoid using this program during high speed activities, intense environments. Like if you're going into the city with a lot of EMFs and electrosmog and crowded places, and there's a lot of imprints outside of you, around you, please don't put this program on, because what it does, it opens up your energetic field. And if you don't have energetic boundaries, you are going to absorb so much. So if you're already absorbing, this is not a good program to use when you're going outside. It's better to use when you're going inside, when you're meditating, and actually to help you bring awareness to your energetic boundaries. So because also avoid when you consuming overstimulating content. For example, don't have this program when you're watching a scary movie or the news. Yeah, because you are going to absorb all those frequencies, and it's going to create imprints on your body. So make sure that you're aware of that. I'm going to give you all these, so don't stress. Okay, so the last and not least is literally combining your HighWave with other programs. Why is this important? Because this is my favorite thing, is that Healy HighWave is actually intentionally designed, to work in harmony with all your favorite IMF frequency programs on your Healy device. Yeah, everything that you have, gold cycles, whatever you name it. The only thing that's not going to work is going to be local stimulation, because local stimulation is not an IMF program. It's only one frequency sent one way. So just letting you know, everything else that has an IMF signal next to the program at the top in the Healy app, it's going to work through Healy HighWave. So why would you want to combine Healy HighWave with other programs multiple programs that we have, is the first thing, you're going to enhance delivery. So our carrier wave, which is 4.97 megahertz carrier wave, it actually helps the frequencies penetrate deeper into the cell, as we know now, and reaching mitochondria and DNA. So on top of this wave, you're going to have a specific frequency from the program that you're going to reach the cell faster, and you're going to feel the effects faster as well. So you're going to have greater efficiency. So frequency become more bioavailable, as I said, meaning shorter or less often sessions may bring stronger results. And of course, more cellular impact, because HighWave amplifies the signal, making it more likely to shift the bioenergetic pattern and affecting the cell directly, meaning that you are going to have a better efficiency within the body and better impacting the cell deeper. And it also has broad compatibility, so it works with any IMF programs, as I said, from meridians, mental awareness, bioenergetic harmony, gold cycles. I've been testing the cell wave and the mind wave, and I've been testing the deep cycles, the bioenergetic vitalization. I am in love using digital nutrition on HighWave. Game changer. I love digital nutrition, and I've loved it before, but using it with HighWave, oh my freaking God. Sorry for my French or whatever this language is, but I don't want to, but like seriously, digital nutrition, huge impact with HighWave. In my body, at least, huge impact. So you can use it with any other program list that you own, yeah? So now, because I don't have the phone, I'm going to share something with you. So these are my scans. So I have been scanning myself in the Blue app. So, for those of you that do not own the Healy HighWave yet, you will not. So with the Healy HighWave, currently we had a promotion by the end of last month. There's no promotion right now, but if you're buying the Healy HighWave, you are going to get the programs with it currently, if I'm not mistaken. So the Cellway and the HighWave programs come with it, and those are the IMF programs. But for those of you that do not own the Healy HighWave and the programs, you can still benefit from them. Not in the same way, but Healy has allowed everyone to access the Cellway and the MindWave programs through the Blue app. So you will find them, if you scan the All Healy program, they will come up as groups. And then if you look at the list of the programs in the Healy Resonance app, in the Blue app, you will find the group Cellwave and the MindWave in there, and you can rescan them to see which programs you are needing right now. So you can see what's going on in the body. And then, of course, you can vibrate that through resonance to your bioenergetic field. It's not going to be the same application, but you can still influence your body through that. So what I've done is I've got my Healy HighWave on the 27th, which was the Friday morning, and I scanned myself a day before, and MindWave programs and Cellwave programs have come up for me, 76 and 76%. I don't know if you can see this. I might zoom in. So on the 27th, when I got my Healy HighWave, I've scanned myself in the morning, and it came up MindWave at 77% and Cellwave at 66%. And then I applied the programs. So I went to MindWave and I applied the MindWave top program. And then I went to the Cellwave programs and I applied the top Cellwave program. Yeah. And then I applied the rest of them as much as I could. Yeah. But the top two I have applied on Friday. And then on Saturday, Wave came up as 66%, but the MindWave dropped to 52%. Yeah. And then the day after, Cellwave was still 66%, but MindWave nowhere to be seen. It was literally at the bottom, the last one. Yeah. And then on, what was this? On Monday, Cellwave was still 66%, but MindWave was not on the list at all. Yeah. But look at on Tuesday, Cellwave started dropping. So after, what was this? This was Wednesday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, after 5 days, yeah, after 4 or 5 days of application, the percentage started dropping. Yeah, my cells started getting what I needed. And on Tuesday, I got Cellwave 65%, MindWave completely out. There was nothing on the list. Cellwave then on what was this? This was Wednesday, this was Tuesday, yeah. So 58% on Tuesday, mind wave was never there. And yesterday it dropped to 48%. So this is less than a week. And I've seen the differences in percentages dropping in my old Healy programs because I was applying and there was more efficiency within my body. And I could see, of course, other programs changing, and I know why all of those are here because I know my body and I know my lifestyle and I know what I was doing. But it literally showed me how the cell wave programs literally applied to the cells changed how my body was shifting. And if I'm honest, I had 2 stressful days from Wednesday to yesterday. Was it to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? This was this morning. Yes. So it was a stressful 2 days I had, and I still had a drop in cell wave programs, meaning that my cells were getting what I needed. So this is how you can track as well how your body is doing, what is happening within the body, and what your body is actually needing, and how it's affecting the body. Yeah, does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So yeah, so this is it. So I think I'm just gonna finish. So my experience with HighWave so far is amazing. My cells are better. I sleep much better. Like since I started using HighWave, I sleep really deeply. Like my shift of how I sleep has changed completely, and I've shifted my sleep a lot with Mag Healy and Healy and doing a lot of other stuff. But HighWave in just this short amount of time has shifted my sleep completely. Like I sleep really deep and I get regenerated in the morning. And it's only by applying the basic cell and mind wave programs on top of other programs. I applied digital nutrition for the last 4 days, and I found huge shifts with digital nutrition as well if I pair it with the cell wave programs because I prepare the cells. So this is my experience, and this is what I'm offering today. So let's see if there's any questions. If you have the question, raise your hand, and I'll pop you through. But otherwise, I'm just going to see if there's anything else that anybody else asked. Script is not clear. I will share my is that for script and screen not clear? You mean for my screens, screenshots? If that's the case, I will copy paste them in the group and you can see them. How many programs can we use in a day with Healy HighWave? Is there any restriction? So of course, there's restrictions. First is your body. Second is the battery of the Healy. Third is what was the third? No, probably just the 2. So the first one is how your body will respond. I find Healy HighWave for my body, and this is my body only, you have to test it on yourself, to be much more effective but gentler. So that's why I'm saying it's a combination. For me, it's like a combination of electrodes and coil, but in a completely different way. And it has a higher impact on the cell and the body, and I feel much better faster afterward. So that's how I feel. And of course, the restriction is the battery, because the Healy HighWave uses the energy of the Healy battery in order to produce the 5 megahertz high frequency carrier wave in order to carry the frequency of the program that you are actually applying. So in this case, you probably on the 100% that I've done yesterday was 5 programs max. Yeah, that was what it was, but you please don't apply 5 programs per day. But if you, for example, need, if you would be feeling really under stress, or if you're feeling like really fatigued, then in this case, I would apply 3 to 5 programs, but then that will be only for 1 to 2 days, and then I would drop back to 2 or 3 programs. So make sure that you are helping and supporting your body the way that it needs, but don't do it long term. But if you need that in the moment, of course, like for me, if I'm stressed or my body kind of doesn't have energy, or I've been processing energetically a lot and my physical body needs support, I would put on Mag Healy, Healy cables, and then another Healy with coil if I can. So all at once for me, because that's how I know my body gets regenerated fast. But I know where I have my limits within the body. How many program in a day by HighWave? Okay, so children. Yeah, so there are restrictions as with Healy. So the same thing. So epilepsy, any heart pacemakers, pregnancy, those are contraindications, right? As the same as with Healy, yeah. And if you're using it either way, that is your personal choice, and I can't stop you, but that is your choice of how you're using it. But the contraindications are the same as for Healy. A children autism ADG, I don't know what you mean by that, so I can't comment on that. Can we get the slides, the presentation? I can't read the text, see the pics. That's interesting. Maybe it was the internet connection or something. Yes, the presentation will be available in the Facebook group, so you can join there and you can see the slides. So kids below 5 years. So Healy's contraindication is that Healy is not allowed on cables for kids under 12 years old. Resonance, and then of course you need to understand kids, if they can't tell you if they like it or not, as you know, also many times we said before, and also Jan Bolsensky has said this before in the training with the deep cycle as well. Frequencies are gentle enough for the kids to use them, but Healy has not tested the device on kids or pregnant women either. And we need to understand that we need consent. So if the kids can't tell you if they like it or not, if something's hurting or not, if something's too intense or not, if they don't have a conscious awareness of that, then I would prefer not to use that on them, because I can't get feedback from them and I can't be in their body. So it's not responsible from me to actually force something on someone. And I would prefer to use HighWave on myself with a program that I feel that it will benefit the child. And I would hold the child in my arms, because the frequency travel either way. Yeah. And I would do the same thing with resonance and everything else, because children, they're not old enough, especially at 5, to tell you, you know, awareness of the physical body. They can tell you a lot of other things, but not the awareness of the physical body. So make sure that you are responsible in that way. Slides, yeah, will be available in the blue app. Now CellWave and MindWave are locked. Are they? Or maybe, sorry. That's interesting. I might check that one. I might double check that with Healy. Thank you for letting me know. That's interesting. Okay, I will double check that for you and get back to you. It is not clear if the carrier wave is pulse modulated or frequency modulated. Do you know how it is modulated? From my understanding, Jeffrey, I think it is pulse modulated, but I can double check for you just in case for 100% if I'm not correct. But I think it's pulse modulated from what I know. How does the Healy pair with the bracelet? I don't understand how Healy pairs with the bracelet. This bracelet can be associated with any Healy or with a specific one. Let me explain. I have more than one Healy. Can I use one or the other, or only one associated with the bracelet? Bracelet meaning the HighWave, I assume. So Healy HighWave can be used with any Healy. Gold Healy, obsidian, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can use it because it works on any program, IMF program. Yeah, so you can have this Healy, let's say professional, and then take it off and then put a gold Healy on. Yeah, with gold cycles and stuff. You can. The only thing that I would be mindful of is, because when you buy the Healy HighWave, yeah, when you buy it, you get the programs, the CellWave and the MindWave programs with it. And you will need to choose what Healy you would like those programs to be transferred to. So those programs will only be on one of your Healys. If you have multiple Healys, you will only have those programs on one of the those Healys. And the rest, you can still use it with HighWave. You're just not going to use the CellWave and the MindWave program with them. Yeah, but you can use other programs with the HighWave, of course. Yes, if you have multiple Healys, please don't do 10 programs per day, just so you can change and exchange the Healys. Yeah. You are welcome. When combining with other programs, do you use HighWave first or the other program first, or it doesn't matter? I'm assuming that that means if I use HighWave or the Electrodes or the Coil, which would be the first one as an option. So this is my view and my view only. Yeah, honestly, I would prepare the cell first with the HighWave. I would actually use any cell wave program, like Cell Care, for example, with the HighWave first in the morning. So I would normally scan myself with Healy resonance, and then if Healy cell wave programs would come at the top, I would prepare the cell first, because that is telling me that the cells need more attention. So if I want to apply any other programs that are not cell wave programs, that are not connected to the cell directly, I need to prepare the cell first. This is how I would do it, but I'm not saying that this is the only way. Even if I would want to apply bioenergetic vitalization or digital nutrition or deep cycle, for example, I would still apply the cell wave program first, for example, like Cell Care, in the morning to prepare the cell. And then what I would do, I would, for example, apply the deep cycle or the vitalization. Probably no, the deep cycle I would apply with cables to actually help the body detox and to actually go deeper. And then I would probably apply digital nutrition or something that's on the list, or just I apply digital nutrition every day anyway, and I would apply that with HighWave. And then I would, for example, do the rest of the programs throughout the day. If I want to add any, I would do them with Coil. So that's how I would do it. But for me, the most important thing I would do, if I only have one option with the HighWave, I would do it with cell preparation. But then if you have HighWave through the day, then use HighWave for the rest of the day, as long as you have the battery. Yeah. And then, of course, I would do one program a day with cables to actually help the energy in the body to recharge the cells. You're welcome. Unable to do resonance analysis of the HighWave programs through the Blue app. It asked me to buy the. Okay. So obviously that was just for the promotion. Okay, I'll double check for you anyway, but I will come back to you. Is it really 100% with the HighWave to you? Sorry, I could not listen through it all. In case you already mentioned it. Yes, so do not have the wristbands by now, but I used the Electrodes with cell programs. I started with 40%. I had to reopen the Healy 2 times. It was so strong, so it ended up with 20. Yes, so the minimum 40% for HighWave. If it is, yes, so at the beginning it will be strong. You will feel the pulsating. So the way that I felt it in the body with HighWave, it's literally like pulsating through the body. And I felt it, and this is my experience at only. This is not, proven. This is my own personal experience. Is where you are the most open, yeah, the flows is you're gonna feel the currents more. You're gonna feel the pulsating more. So I felt it in my head, like my head and my top of the head, and all of this was like I could feel it pulsating. And after probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I could feel my head get like hotter, but not hot like from EMFs from the computer, but like the cells open and the current and the flow of energy and oxygen came to my head and my body. And yes, for the first 2 days, I think I've used it on 40%. And all of a sudden, then the second day, I think the light on the Healy HighWave was stopped working. And I'm like, what, is it faulty? And then I realized I need to amp up the frequency, the percentages. So if the light is not working, go up. So for example, if you start at 40% and you need to have a light, so the light needs to work. So if there's no light, there is no 5 megahertz wave. So you need to have a light on the Healy HighWave. So if you get to 40% and it's, the light is showing, great. If the light is off, then you need to amp it up. If the light starts showing and it's stable at 50%, then that's where you leave it. Yeah. I found that the more I've used it, the more flow became through my body and the more I could actually go up. So I'm at 100% now for me, but I'm not saying you need to start at 100. I started at 40 as well, and I actually felt it in my body a lot. So make sure that you work with yourself. If you are at 20% now with the HighWave and you feel that, and you still have the light, then you're fine. Be it there, but it says at least 40% to create the HighWave, the 5 megahertz wave. Yeah, so if there's no light, you can't. It's not working. Okay, which program for? So I'm not going to answer that. The presentation was wonderful. You're welcome. Okay, what is the price of the new bracelet? So it's going to be a different price depending on your currency. So if you go into your Healy shop, you go into the accessories, your Healy HighWave will show up there, and you can actually see the price of that in there. Because it was on promotion last month, but it's on full price now. You're welcome. Strongly with if somebody used wrongly, there is no wrong way of using it. It's still harmonic frequencies to your body. You're going to still benefit from it. It's just how you feel in the body. It's the only way is are you moving your energy too fast through the body? So the consequence or the effect of it will be a detoxification. Yeah, so your body will start detoxifying faster. You will start, I don't know, peeing more. You're going to be thirsty more. You might have a headache, or you might have a bit of a runny nose. Like all of those things are just healing, the body healing itself and clearing itself out. That's all it is. Offers, promotions, not that I know of for now. Well, you're welcome. Let me know how this penetrates cell membrane. So as I said, through it, the 5 megahertz wave penetrates the tissue without a problem, because we use that in medical devices to create a 3D imaging. So it does not heat up the tissue or cells. It's a natural frequency of the cell. So through that, just by the carrier wave, it actually penetrates directly into the cell and with ease. So have a negative to know that cables, coil, and HighWaves can be used as a mix always. So as we had with cables and electrodes with coil, they all have the specific application, and combining them together, it's the best solution you can have for your health and your body. Perfect. So all other programs other than high wave programs using cord is recommended. For example, digital. Yes, so all IMF programs. So if you go in the app and you look at all your programs, if you go into the individual programs, you will see the little icon of the program, and on the top right corner of that icon, it will say IMF. Yeah, that's the signal and the sign that that program is an individual microcurrent frequency program that can be applied either through coil or through HighWave or through cables. Yes, so it's a great application because HighWave is now practical, so you can still utilize these programs, which are IMF programs, and they are a great application for the body, more practical because there's no cables and it goes directly into the cell. If someone uses HighWave, Healy Electrodes, Healy with coil connecting together at the same time, is it possible, or any effect or caution? Yeah, as I said, do not be like me. I'm a test bunny and I explore all the time. So I go over the limits, especially to explore, to actually tell you the do's and don'ts. Yeah. So if you're just starting out and if you don't really, if your body is not used to frequencies, just please be gentle, start slowly. But if you are used to it, and for example, like when I was feeling under the weather a few months back, and my gut went out because I was processing a lot. I had Mac Healy on my body. I had Digest All running on cables. I had Coherence running on coil, and I had everything on my body. at the same time, because I knew that coherence will help me balance my bioenergetic field on Coil. And I used Coil specifically because coherence goes into, like, Coil goes into the bioenergetic field, and I wanted my bioenergetic field to be coherent. Then I applied the gestalt and deep cycle on cables because I knew that the electricity will help support my gut and help to balance the gut, the digestive issues that I had. And then I used Healy, yeah? And I used Healy, I think I did, what did I do? I think I did regeneration or vitality. I think I did something like that in classic. And I used that on my body, on my belly, to actually help the body regenerate itself faster. So pairing programs is good, but I did not do that every day. I did that for one day and the second day, and then I dropped back to one program a day with cable, and the rest was with Coil. And now I have HighWave, so I use it differently. But because it's an upgrade, yeah, it's an upgrade to how I use my programs and how I support my body. That's all it is. But yes, of course you can, but don't do this as as a rule. Just combine everything all the time, because it's also overstimulating and can be overstimulating for your nervous system, for your bioenergetic field, because this way you are opening up the channels and the doors for new information to flow in. And if your physical body is not able to hold and handle that information, you are either going to get really tired or you're going to get overstimulated. So either way, it's out of balance. So you don't want to be out of balance. You want to bring your body back to balance. But in order for that to happen, you need to be in touch and connected with your body. I can't tell you what works and what doesn't if you don't know your body and if you don't listen to the feedback of your body. If you don't understand how your body is responding to certain things and you still keep going like a horse with blinders on, then you're not listening to the body, and you're going to have side effects which are just by you not listening to the body because you went overboard. That's all it is, yeah? Otherwise, Healy has harmonic frequencies. ATP production, no. So ATP production, it's not the same as with cables. That's why I'm saying. So the cables, they have a microcurrent that influences the cell around the cell. It works around the cell, like nudging the cell to literally, it's like adding the charger to the cell in order for the cell to actually produce energy. Yeah, it does not go into the cell. Where HighWave goes into the cell, directly into the factory of energy, directly into the DNA, and says, we need this much energy, we need this much, we can produce this, we can change this. But if your body is like tired and doesn't have enough electricity, then you'll need the cables in order for the cell to utilize that energy to create more. So there's a combination of things, yeah? But yes, it influences ATP as well. So great information. Thank you so much. You're welcome. There'll be a recording to watch in your... Yes, always. Recordings are always to watch either on Healy APEC YouTube channel, which is in the Learning Hub. All the trainings are there as well. You can find it in my Facebook group, which is the link in the chat. I add all my slides and everything into the Facebook group as well, and everything additional that I do. And of course, you can ask all the questions in there as well. I'm present as much as I can be. Okay, perfect. I think today I knew it was longer because it's a big thing. It's a new thing. But if you have any other questions, always you can ask in the group. Hope this was helpful, that you got a bit more understanding of what this new accessory is. And it is a game changer. So if you are expecting one, if you got one, I would love, and if you are in the Facebook group, my Facebook group, I would love to hear your experience, and I would love to hear how you are experiencing this application and what have you noticed, because it's always good to hear how people are experiencing things, and it's good to share so we know what we are doing and how we are supporting each other. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being here. Next week, Christy will be joining us. And this month is all about HighWave. So we're going to look at it from a different perspectives. We're going to look at, in 2 weeks, I have from burnout to thriving, I think it is. So we're going to look at how to use HighWave to regenerate your body, to come back to energy, using certain programs with that as well. So we're going to take a look at that. And the last one is with Christy, and we're going to have a special thing for you at the end of this month. But otherwise, thank you for coming. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll be seeing you in 2 weeks. Have a great night. Bye-bye.